So this is the measurement we'll be making use of. Our body measurement is going to be 26, and our sleeve measurement is going to be 10. Then our blouse length is 25. Then for the 4 inches you are seeing there, the 4 is for bending, the one we are going to bend in. You see it when we get to the cutting aspect. So looking now, if you look at it, to measure out your blouse, you measure out the length of the blouse twice. Then you fold it into 2. You fold into another 2. Then you measure out the body and cut it out. The remains will be used to join the wrapper, the row. In Yoruba it is called alakun. In Yoruba it's called alakun, so it's going to be used to join the wrapper. Other being it is a lace fabric, you don't need to join anything to it. You are not joining any pieces to it. There's no need to join any alakun, because the length of a lace material is 15 inches and sometimes 55 and 60. So it is enough. The length is enough for an adult to make use of. So thank you. Let's continue with our cutting. So now we're cutting out our wrapper. For the row, for adults, you will cut out 2.5 yards of the fabric. 2.5 yards of the fabric is used as wrapper. So at the 2.5 yards. So in some cases you might need to use maybe 2 yards and 10 inches. Sometimes 2 yards and 14 inches. Based on the fact that maybe the person you're actually sewing the row and over for, maybe the person is a bit fat, so that the fabric will be enough. You can make use of 2 yards and 10 inches, or better still 2 yards and 14 inches. But for normal row, you have it as 2 yards and 18 inches, which is 2.5 yards. So I'll be measuring out my 2.5 yards now. I have one. This is 2 and half is 18 inches. So I have my 18 inches. So having it in, I'm going to hold it in. So I'm going to notch it out. Then bring the fabric this way. Once you have it like this, and then you cut. So I have my 2.5 yards here for the euro. This is the 2.5 yards. So I'm going to fold it. Okay. So this is for the euro. I'm keeping it aside so I'll be able to cut. So now this is the remaining fabric. Now I'll be cutting out my blouse. First, I showed you the measurements you are making use of. So the length of the blouse you are making use of is 25 inches. The length is 25 inches. Then you are going to add 2 inches to it. The 2 inches is for bending. You can add 1.5 inch, and you can also add 1 inch. It depends. But for me, for this one, I'll be adding 2 inch to it. So 2 inches plus 25, which means I have 27 inches. So now I'll be measuring my 27 inches twice. This is 1, and this is 2. So now I have mine. I'm going to notch it as usual. So I have it like this, and then I'll cut. So yeah, I have the one for my blouse. The rest I have here, this is going to go for my scarf and sleeve. So for now, let's go to our table to cut. So like I told you that we'll be folding it twice. This is the first folding. You fold it into 2 like this. Then you bring it down to your table and you fold it like this as well. You make sure it is equal. You make sure all sides are equal. You make sure all sides are equal. You can see, you have to look at it from this first. So I have it like this. So yeah, I have it. For my blouse, like I told you earlier, our body measurement is 26. That's 26 divided by 2. Like this, it is divided by 4. But so now 26 is going to be divided by 2. So I have 13. Then I'm going to be adding 1.5. Sorry, I'm going to be adding 2 for sewing allowance. I'm going to be adding 2 for sewing allowance. 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on the other side. So I'm going to be adding 2 inches to it for sewing allowance. So 2 plus 13 is giving us 15. So I'm going to be measuring my 15 downwards. So you measure 15. If your hand is not yet straight, you can actually make use of a ruler. You can make use of a ruler. So you join all together. Then you cut it out. part, this remaining one will be joined to the wrapper as a raccoon. So now we'll be cutting out our neck. We'll be cutting out the neck. So for the neck, you can decide to make it round neck or four corner, or better to V-neck. But for this one that I'm cutting out round neck. So for here, I have 3. Then for here also, I have 3. Though I can still readjust it. But you still need to make it small first, so that it's better for you to readjust the neck later than for you to cut out excess. So that's why I'm making use of 3 here. So anyway, I want to make it V shape. I'm just going to bring it from here down to this angle. I have it as V. And if I actually want to make it 4 corner, I'll bring it down. This is my knee. Then I bring it like this. So like this, I have my 4 corner. But if I don't want it, like now that I want a round neck, so I'll be making it like this. I'll be making my curve. Sorry, I have so many on this. So I'll be making my curve from that angle straight down to where my 3 is. Then I'll cut it out. So here I have the neck measurement, but it depends on who you're actually sewing it for. For someone that is fast, you can make use of 3.5, 4 to cut. So like this is a bit small, so I'm going to readjust it. Though I'm not adjusting this side, but I'll be adjusting it from here. So I can just add half inch to this, and also to this place as well. Another one. So I'm still making my curve. It's better for you to have the short measurement first, so that you can readjust, than for you to have excess and spoil someone's material. So I have the normal neck measurement that I need. Thank you. So this is the remaining material I have. So now I'll be cutting out our sleeve. The sleeve for Buba is different from the sleeve for gown or blouse. Sorry, I didn't add something to it, to the measurements, which is the band sleeve. The band sleeve, this is the band sleeve measurement. I've talked about that in our measurements class. So this is what I mean by band sleeve. So for this particular one. The band sleeve is 11. Yes, the band sleeve is 11, and I'll be adding 1 inch to it as sewing allowance. So yeah, I have it as 12. Okay, make sure I have my 12. So mm, 12, 12, 12. Okay, so for this one, now first of all, let me remove my 4. That's for bending. You can bend in 3. It depends on the length your customer wants. So for this one, I'm bending in 4 inches. You can bend in 3 inches, and you can also bend in 2 inches. You can bend in 2.5. It depends on your customer's choice. Then for this sleeve, this is not actually a very long sleeve. It's a kind of short one. So the measurement for my sleeve is 10. Then I have 4. This is my 4 from bending, and now I'll measure out my 10. 10 plus 4, I'm having it as 14. So from here, I'll be measuring out my 10 inches. I don't need any curves. To make it simple, that's why I had to shop for 4 inches first. So everything I have 14 from there to here. So that's all about that, and then cutting it out. Just this adjustment. So here I have my sleeve. So for this part, to make it easy for me, I'm cutting it out. I don't need it. So for this is going for scarf. So for this one, you're going to be folding it in like this to sew on this 2 sides of it, and that's going to be the end of your scarf. Then once you're done sewing, just hold it and keep it. So this is the leftover from the Buba that I said we'll be using to join the wrapper. To do that, you bring the 2 sides together like this, because it's like it is now 18 2 pieces. So you bring this out like this to join together. Then you have it like this. And then you sew. So now as you can see that I've sewn this part out. So to make your work neat, you bring it like this. You open it up like this. Then you bring it this way. Remember that this is where I sewed the other time. Look at it. So you can see these pieces are rough. So to make it neat, all you need to do, you bring it like this. Once you spread it too, you bring it like this, and then you sew it at this edge. Even though that you can see it, that the joining is not obvious at the back. Even right here, you can see the stitches are nice and looking. So that's the essence of that. So now we can join it to our euro. So now this is how you join your wrapper. You bring the two surface together. You bring the two surface together like this. So you sew the outside of it. You bring it like this. Don't forget, this is the means we remove from the buba that we'll be using to join our wrapper. So this is it now. Once you have it like this, you place it on it, and then you sew this place. This is where you are going to sew.
Shut.
So this is all about the joining. Then this other part, I'll be cutting it out because I don't need it anymore. So having done that, the next thing you do, you bring this part down like this. Look at it very well. You bring this part down like this, and then you sew it at this edge downwards. So as you can see, this is done. Look at it from the back. This is done. So the next thing, we'll be bending the sides. We'll be bending the sides of it. So for the bending of the side, you'll be bending 2 inches. You'll be folding in 2 inches. For both sides, you have it as 2 inches. That's the 2 inches you'll take down. Then as it is like this, then it's from these 2 inches that you are going to fold in. As you can see, it's from these 2 inches that you will fold in and sew downwards. I'm doing it since this is done. So now it remains the edges for the top part and the bottom part.
So that's all about the scarf. So once you're done bending the two sides,
so I'll be bending it in just
that's
a
all when you
little.
fold it.
I'm going to bend it here and down, and that's going to be the end of our sewing for euro. Okay, so yeah, I have this is the scarf. This is the scarf, you can see. This is the scarf. All you just need to, you can see, it's just the edges. You give it a little folding inside, and so here is my scarf. You can see I'm actually waiting for light This part will be removed with iron. You remove this part with your iron. So I'm waiting for light to do that. So here I have my wrapper. You can see. Here is the joint. You can see it's not obvious. The joining is very neat. Both this and this. At the edge, like I told you, I said you'll be bending in 2 inches. It's out of that 2 inches that you are going to fold in. As you can see, I have it here. Then you bend it a little at the top, just a little sewing, normal sewing at the top. Same thing, normal sewing at the end of it, just normal sewing, and that's the end of your row. But one thing I just want you to understand is that had it been it's a lace fabric, a lace material, you don't need to join anything to it. You're not joining any, like the joining we had at the top of this wrapper. Had it been is a lace fabric, you don't need to join. All you just need to do is just to sew it at both sides. You can use 2 inches for the bending, and you can make use of 1.5 inches as well, as it pleases you. And it also depends on the person you're actually sewing it for. So that's that about the euro. So now we'll be doing our buba now. So now here I have the sleeve for the buba. Don't forget I added 4 inches to it when I was cutting. I said the 4 is for bending. The real length I need is 10 inches. I said the real length I need is 10 inches. We'll be bending in 4. But instead of the 4, I'm going to bend 3.5 here. I'm going to be bending 3.5 here to sew. The remaining half is for the joining of the sleeve to the buba. The remaining half is going for the joining of the sleeve to the buba. So after that, since half is gone for the joining to the buba, and I have 3.5 here, so the length I'm still going to have is still my 10. So now I'll be sewing this part now. It is not something. Having the part you are folding in is not like this. You will have to bend it in. Having is not like this. You have to bend it in to before sewing. But since the edge is already like this, Yoruba we call it a tiaje. So since it is the tiaje part, you just have to leave it like this. There's no need for me to bend it anymore. So I'm going to sew it direct, just like this. So joining the side, the 1 inches we added for sewing allowance is what you're going to sew. And that's all about the sleeve. I'll be taping the neck using my bias. You can also call this ribbon. But when you actually need to pay attention to is this line right here. Make sure you are sewing it on this line of it, on this line, and make sure it is the same thing alongside with the fabrics under it. So now you can see that this is done. So all you need to do now is to turn it the other way around, because I'll be bending this in and I'll be sewing it in. So now that I've turned it like this, you have it like this, you bend it back like this and sew it gently. You need to be careful while doing this. Remember that whatever you sew here is what is going to appear outside. So you just need to be patient and make sure just go steadily, just go little by little. You don't need to rush so that you won't make mistakes. So here is the buba. So you're going to notch it at the upper part of it. So it's time to join the body together. So you notch it after placing it all together. So yeah, I have my sleeve. How do you do it? You can see I notched out this place. So you bring the two sides together. That's the center part. You bring it together. As you can see, this is the surface of the cloth, not the hot side of it. Can you see the difference? Same with this. So you bring it together like this. This is the two notched sides of the cloth. That's the center part of it. And then you sew. I've done my measurements. That's my half. And then I sew. So as you can see, I stopped the sewing here when I was sewing the other part. So now I'm going to turn it to this side now. It's still the same stitch we are still sewing. You bring it side by side. This is the easiest way to do it so you won't make mistake. And then you sew. So having done that, now bring it like this. So I don't want you to forget. So at this part of the clothes, there is going to be a side cut. There's going to be a side cut. So on both sides of the clothes. So you're going to measure 5 inches. It depends on who you are sewing it for. You can make it 4 inches. You can make it 4 inches. You can make it 5 inches. But minimum of 4 inches. You can also make it 3.5, but 4 inches precisely. So here I have my 4 inches. I have my reasons. Can you see? 4 inches. So you are going to sew it down from the handprint. Don't forget you are making normal sewing. Normal sewing should not be more than ½ inches. I'm going to stop you can see I stopped my sewing here. You can see where I chopped. So you open it like this to yourself. You can see, once you open it, you are going to bend the side, fold this in a little. Look at the folding, just like this. 1 and 2, and then you sew. So you have it there. Then turn. Then you fold this part as well, the same way you folded this. You fold it in, and then you sew and turn. Then you bring it like this, as you can see, and then you sew it down as well. I just want you to see it clearly, that's why I'm doing this. As you can see, this is the side cut. Okay, now let's do that for the second sleeve. You can see, don't forget, you bring the two knot parts together. Then you sew. Don't forget your 4 inches. So having done that, the next thing you do, you are going to fold this in. You can see this is not neat enough yet, so you're going to fold this in just a little. Just fold it in twice and sew. So I have it like this. Just a little. Always cut your thread. Don't forget, always cut your thread. You don't leave thread on the fabric. Very something important I want you to know about this part is that once you bend on the first side, once you bend in the first side, you need to look at the second one too while sewing. Once you are about to get to the edge, measure it yourself to check if it is equal when you fold it in like this. This is the one I've done. So this is the one I'm still sewing now. One thing you need to do is this. You need to use this to measure this one to fold the edge. Make sure the two edges are equal. No matter how neat your work is, if the two sides is not equal, you don't need to start you don't need to lose this one that you've done already. Yeah. All you need to do is just to fold this in first. Once you're about to get to the edge, you fold it and measure it yourself to see whether it is equal. As it is now that it is equal, so you are going to hold this part like this and make sure you don't make mistake and you sew it. That's all. So our Buba is ready. So here have it. Our Buba is ready. This one is a short sleeve. The owner of this doesn't like long sleeve, so don't say because your practical video was a short sleeve Buba, so don't get used to it. Measurements, just follow the measurement you have with you. You can see. Yeah, lest I forget, my edges. There's my edges. So that's all about that. Thank you for if you have any question as regards to what we've done so far, feel free to ask. If you have any question to ask, if something is not clear enough on what we've done so far, you can ask questions. Yes, and I'll be there to reply you immediately. Yes, you get prompt response from me. So that's all about this. Thank you for joining me in this class. We'll talk more in our next class.